Hi everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Helen. I'm head teacher at Los Angeles English School, and thanks for joining me for today's webinar, or we also can call it live lesson on IELTS or TOEFL essay writing. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, I encourage you to hit this subscribe button and also notification button so that you will be notified of all our upcoming lessons, upcoming webinars, and also about our new lessons on this YouTube channel. All right, so let's get started, and we're going to be talking about essay writing today. And if you are preparing for IELTS or TOEFL, this webinar is for you, definitely. So there are different evaluation criteria for the IELTS essay writing and TOEFL essay writing. But anyways, so the essay procedure or the strategies for writing the essay are exactly the same. So no worries, it doesn't matter if you're getting ready for your IELTS exam or maybe you're getting ready for your TOEFL exam. If you want to practice writing task number 2, which is essay writing in TOEFL, is also called independent essay. So you're very welcome, and let's get down to practice actually. All right, so I'm going to share my presentation with you. So here we go. All right. So opinion essay, it means the essay where you have to share your opinion, and like normally my students sometimes they get nervous, like how do I know that this is opinion essay? So in the question you will see like, do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree with the statement? And you just need to be attentive, and if you see the question that requires your opinion, so you will know that this is opinion essay. So the question will be about your opinion, basically. So, and today we're gonna look at opinion essay, as I said, and so we have you can see the essay question. So the question of today's essay is, the first impression is often the most important one. So do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Use specific reasons and examples. So the first thing that you do during the exam, of course, you need to think, all right, so I agree with this statement, I disagree with this statement, or probably I partly or partially agree with the statement. And based on your opinion, you need to follow some specific essay structure. So first, before we get down to essay writing, I'd like you to leave your answers in the chat box. So let me guys know, do you agree or disagree, or probably you partly agree with the statement? So the first impression is often the most important one. So if you guys don't understand or don't know, first impression is when we meet with people for the first time. We come across as friendly, unfriendly, rude, so we exhibit some personality type. So in first impression often plays a great role. So leave your answers. So let me check your comments. So guys, I really encourage you to be active and communicate during the webinar, and don't be shy, just type your answers in the chat box. Okay. So we have an answer, I totally agree, though it is sometimes just prejudice. First impression is a big deal. Yeah, definitely. I agree. Okay. Yeah, guys, so I partly agree with the statement. And if you, for example, partly agree with the statement, you also need to show this in your essay. If you completely agree with the statement, you have to show this in your essay. And if you disagree, you also have to show this. So make sure that you have the clear line throughout the whole essay, you have the clear opinion. And based on your opinion, you have to follow some specific plan. All right, so in this essay that I've prepared, we will take a look at a view that agrees, mostly agrees with the statement. So first, what you have to do for the essay writing, you need to generate some ideas. So let's imagine that you agree with the statement. So let's take this view. And because you agree with this statement, you need to support your opinion and to show the examiner, the reader, why you agree with the statement. So because you will need to write down minimum 2 body paragraphs in your essay, so you cannot write just one big piece of writing. So there should be introduction and minimum 2 body paragraphs, then a conclusion. And your body paragraphs should have different, not different ideas, but there should be 2 different concepts. So maybe you will be talking about different things. You will be giving different reasons. Or in the first body paragraph, you will say why first impression is important, for example. And in the second body paragraph, you can say why you think it's not important. So if you partly agree with the statement, for example. So in our case, as I said before, we agree, yes, so with the statement. And in 2 body paragraphs, you should put 2 different reasons. So you should show why you agree. So what do you think where first impression could be crucial? So it could play a big role. So where, in what situations might it be important? So share your opinion, please, in the chat box. And I'll check your comments. Yeah, so I see job interview. Yeah. Okay. All right, so probably you can see these 2 pictures, and the first picture represents employment, professional sphere, as I saw a comment in the chat box. So we are talking here about job interviews, communication with our clients and coworkers. So these are spheres like where we see somebody for the first time and based on our first impression. So they have some kind of picture about us as a person. Yeah, it plays a great role. And the second picture represents social life. Social life, it's when we make new friends, when we meet new people, and so oftentimes it also plays a big role. So let's imagine you're going to agree with the statement. So in your 2 body paragraphs, you present different reasons. So the first reason is employment and professional sphere, and the second reason is social life. So this is one possible option that you could choose for presenting your ideas, and this is presenting your reasons. And you put 2 different reasons in 2 different body paragraphs. So this is only one way, but it's very easy way and you can do it quickly and easily. However, if you don't have clear ideas, like you don't have 2 different reasons why you agree, maybe you partly agree. So probably I said something before. In the first body paragraph, you explain why you agree. In the second body paragraph, you explain why you disagree. Or if you completely disagree, you show different reasons, yeah, for your opinion. All right, so let's move on. Then you have to have a clear plan in your mind. So because so you will be given 1 hour for the whole writing task, and for essay writing, it's recommended to spend 40 minutes. And like 40 minutes, it's not a lot. Like you will not have enough time, and that's why just when you come to the exam, make sure that you have a clear understanding of the plan that you should have, and everything should be ready. So strategies, and you should be prepared for this. So and plan for this. So the first one is introduction. Then you need to write at least 2 body paragraphs where you present different ideas. In our case, we agreed to write why first impression is important in employment sphere, and in the second body paragraph, why it's important in our social life. And then you have to write a conclusion. So this is the stable plan, and just remember it and keep it in your memory. So introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and then conclusion. All right, so for the introduction, there is also a very clear strategy how to write the introduction. So not just, it's like not something very abstract that you don't know what to write about. So introduction, so what should I write in my introduction? No, so you just follow the scheme that now I'll give you. I hope that you like it. And what you have to do is first you write a general statement on the topic. Then you rewrite the prompt in your own words. And then you state your opinion and tell the reader what you're going to write about. So let's talk a little bit about that. The first impression is often the most important one. So this is your prompt sentence. So this is your prompt question of the essay. What is the general statement on the topic? So general statement on the topic is first you need to think about something really general, really abstract. You don't paraphrase the sentence that you see, but you actually think about something on the topic. Like, for example, we meet new people every day, or we have to communicate with lots of people every day. So this is very general. Then you rewrite this sentence that you see. The first impression is often the most important one. And after that, your sentence should be, you say whether you agree or disagree. Maybe you partly agree. And tell the reader what you're going to write about. It's like you open a little bit what you're going to be writing about in your body paragraphs. So let's take a look at a little task. So here we have the introduction, but it's not correctly organized. So you need to put the sentences in the correct order. So we have one nice introduction. So just take some time to read it, and I'll give you about 2 minutes and organize the sentences correctly. So in the chat box, write down, so it's BCA or CBA, so how you're going to organize the sentences. So type your answers in the chat box. So I have some answers here. see. All right, so let's take a look at the correct answers and you can check yourself. So, general statement on the topic. It is generally believed that people evaluate each other all the time. Then goes, we write the prompt in our own words. So therefore, our behavior, emotion, speech, and outfit have a great impact on others, especially when we meet for the first time. And you state your opinion and you tell the reader what you're going to write about. I completely agree with the statement that first impressions are crucial because they can affect us professionally and socially. So this is our introduction. Keep this scheme in mind. So general statement on the topic, you read the prompt in your own words, and then you state your opinion and you tell the reader what you're going to be writing about. So reader, it's in our case, it's our lovely examiner. All right, so now I think that it's time for you to practice. So what I'd like you to do is you will be now practicing writing your own introduction. So just a quick reminder, our topic is the first impression is often the most important one. So what I'd like you to do now is try to write down your own introduction. And first, what I'd like you to do is you need to write 2 sentences, so not the whole introduction, 2 sentences for now. So I'd like you to write a general statement on the topic, very general, abstract idea, and rewrite the essay question, this prompt sentence, in your own words. I also have a few nice expressions for you, how you can introduce other people's ideas and arguments. So why it's important? So your essay will be evaluated based on your vocabulary. And if you use some nice expressions, if you present your opinion and other people's opinion, just it will be very nice and just it will boost your essay score. So let's take a look at how you can introduce other people's ideas. So you can write something as some people or many psychologists or most experts or the majority of experts or people or psychologists suggest, believe, claim, take the view that, or it can be argued that, so people disagree about this. Or it is often, usually, or sometimes claimed, suggested, said that. Or something or somebody is or are generally often believed, claimed, or thought to be. For example, women are often thought to be better at multitasking than men. So please write a general statement on the topic, rewrite this prompt in your own words, and try to incorporate in one of your sentences one of these phrases that you see on the screen that you could introduce other people's ideas or arguments. So I will give you 2 minutes. So, and you have to write 2 sentences, write a general statement, and rewrite this prompt in your own words. So 2 minutes, type your answers in the chat box. So I hope, guys, you are typing your answers. All right, so 1 minute and we finish. All right, so we have some answers and a good one. The majority of people believe that first impression is crucial in most situations. That is why the way we look, our behavior, and the words we say for the first time have strong impact on other people. So you have very good words, like nice grammar, super. So Victoria, so I really like your answer. Just a thing to say that yeah, it's nice, you also can write it like this, but it's not exactly what I asked you to do. So general statement on the topic, guys, it's something very abstract, like you try not to paraphrase the actual prompt, but you write something very general. But anyways, it can be different, but what I am recommending now to you is just something very abstract, and then the paraphrased sentence. Okay, so the next thing is you state your opinion and you tell the reader what you're going to write about. So this is the third sentence of your introduction. We have some nice word for introducing your own arguments and opinions. So you could write, I personally tend to think, or I tend to feel, or I personally tend to believe that. I personally agree with the statement that, in my opinion, from my point of view, my personal feeling or my personal belief, opinion, view, point of view is that I would take the view that I personally would argue, suggest that I completely agree with the view, idea, suggestion that. So now I'd like you to try to write down the sentence. This is the last sentence of our introduction, where you state your opinion. If you agree or disagree that the first impression is often the most important one, and you try to kind of open your body paragraph. So we agreed to talk about professional sphere and social life in the current essay. You just need to open these topics a little bit so that you need to show that, so these are my reasons that I'm going to put in my body paragraph. So again, you have 2 minutes this time. Write one sentence in the chat box. So you state your opinion and you say what you're going to be writing about. So let's do that. Okay, so then I choose the nice answer. I personally agree with the idea that it's important to have a good first impression, as it plays a great role in our career and social life. Perfect. So, my congratulations, Victoria. So, the great sentence. Okay. All right. So, let's move on. So now we come to your body paragraph. So you need to present the first sentence, it's actually you show this reason. So you open your paragraph and you demonstrate your first reason that supports your opinion. Then you have to write down an explanation. You kind of explain this reason, you extend your sentence, and then you have to give some examples, and then you have to close the body paragraph. So keep in mind that it's not final conclusion. It just, you close the first body paragraph, you close this idea, and now we'll practice this together. So here we have the body paragraph number 1. And again, it's a task for you. This body paragraph is disorganized, and I'd like you to put these sentences in the correct order so that we have reason number 1, you open, you state this reason, then you have explanation, you give an example, and you close this paragraph. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Read the sentences and write down in the chat box your answers. All right, so let's take a look at the answer. So the reason, number 1 is, to begin with, first impressions affect your future employment. Explanation. Almost all people will have a job interview at some point in their lives where they'll be given a chance to impress a potential employer. Example. For instance, if during such a meeting you were in a bad mood, wearing some scruffy clothing, and were not able to convey your thoughts properly, it would be absolutely unlikely that the interviewer would want to see you in their team. And closing, so we kind of close the paragraph. Consequently, you mustn't lose the opportunity of making an excellent first impression by putting on smart clothes, being friendly, and speaking intelligently. So this is our body paragraph where we present our reason, and we follow this procedure. If you keep it in mind, it will be quickly and it will be easy and you will not have to worry. All right, so, and of course we have to practice. Now I'd like you to try and write your first body paragraph, where I'd like you to present the first reason and give your explanation. So my recommendation is to write about employment and professional sphere. You could write about job interviews, communication with clients, co-workers. So we have to give presentations, conferences, we go on business trips, and of course we meet new people in these situations. Okay, so also there are some different things. So we have to, we can present our reasons or ideas by using some nice words and expressions. It's really important for your IELTS or TOEFL exam. So don't forget to use some of them. For example, to begin with, or first, firstly, first of all. The main reason why is, for example, the main reason why I find first impressions essential is. One of the main reason why is. So guys, now it's your time. I give you 5 minutes maximum. So present your reason why you think it's important to have an excellent first impression and give some explanation. And please use some of the phrases to present your ideas. So 5 minutes. Leave your answers in the chat box. All right, so guys, try to finish your answer. All right, so if you haven't finished, you can finish it a little bit later and you can send it as soon as you're ready. So just because we don't have a lot of time and I want to go on, so let's move on. The next thing is we need to give an example. So example has to be maybe it is your personal example, like maybe it is from your personal life even, or you just give some illustrations, so what might happen. For example, if you exhibit not very good body language, or your speech is not very confident, and so on. All right, so here we have some categories. So I think that when we meet people for the first time, we look at their speech, body language, mood, clothes, hairstyle, their attitude towards us. And here you can see different adjectives. So what I'd like you to do now is try and match adjectives to the categories. So for example, if you look at the speech, so how can you describe somebody's speech? Which words can you use? So they can be positive and they can be negative. So for example, somebody's speech can be intelligent, or can be inspiring, or it can be someone can be rambling, or somebody's speech can be confident or insecure. So just try to use some examples. So with speech, so how can you describe somebody's speech? And use the adjectives that you see. So type your answers in the chat box. So I already see some nice answers. Okay, depressed. Oh, and I see someone has written their body paragraph. Okay. Yeah, all right. So what can we say about our body language? So can you type your answers? So body language. So body language can be disorganized, or it can be inappropriate, or it can be suitable, or we can have an awareness of body language. How can you describe somebody's mood? So type your answers in the chat box. So somebody's mood can be. Yeah, so some people can be sociable, or they can be friendly, or they can be polite, or rude, or arrogant. They can be annoyed. How can you describe somebody's clothes? So can you type your answers? Clothes. Yeah, so somebody's clothes can be neat, untidy, smart. How would you describe somebody's hairstyle? Hairstyle. Again, it can be neat, it can be untidy, it can be suitable, appropriate, inappropriate. Attitude. Somebody's attitude. Yeah, so people can be punctual, they can be determined, they can be attentive, inattentive, decisive, indecisive, and all of these ideas you could use to give some description, examples, or illustrations. So you could describe good things and bad things, and the outcome during the job interview or any professional meeting. All right, so let's go on. You also can use some phrases like, for example, for instance, to illustrate. So these phrases show the examiner what you are doing. So you are given an example, or you are presenting your reason, or it's your closing, and it's essential actually. So also one thing to bear in mind, you try to avoid repetition during the exam. For example, in your first body paragraph, you write, for example, to give an example. In your second body paragraph, you write, for instance, or to illustrate. So just change these phrases, don't repeat them again and again. Alright, and then we close our body paragraph. We need to write down a closing sentence. So closing sentence is you just give some recommendation. So for example, employment in professional spheres. So what should you do? What mustn't you forget? It's like, and now what should I do with all those things? To close, to draw a conclusion, you could use some phrases as thus, or so, or consequently. So you write thus, or so, or consequently, and you write what should we remember. So let's do that, okay? I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you close your first body paragraph by writing a little recommendation, like what should you remember? So 2 minutes, write your answers in the chat box. All right, so let's move on then. And then we have to write down our second body paragraph. So you, as I said before, you just present a different reason or maybe why you disagree with the statement. And we have the same thing, you just follow the same scheme. You give the reason, you present this reason. So in our case, we're going to be talking about social life. It's making new friends and meeting new people. And again, to present new reasons, you write down, so this is our new reason, yeah? So you write second or secondly. The second reason I consider is, so the second reason I consider first impression to be crucial is, another reason why is, then you give an explanation. So the same whole thing. You present the second reason, don't forget to change the phrases. So if you wrote firstly, now you write secondly. And then again, you give an example. Don't forget to give an example, use something as for example, for instance, to illustrate, and then give your example. And again, closing. So you follow the same procedure. Again, in our second body paragraph, we're talking about social life this time. And again, you write, what should you do? What mustn't you forget? And in this way, you close your paragraph. So to draw a conclusion, you write down thus, so, consequently. You can just remember a few phrases like this and change them from time to time throughout the essay. All right, so, and my example for you. Reason number 2. The second reason I consider first impressions to be important is that they may significantly impact our social life. So this is our second reason. Explanation. The majority of us have to get acquainted with lots of other people every day, at school, work, or even when we just go shopping, and we never know how these meetings will influence our future relationships. Then you give an example to illustrate. Here I give my personal example, so it can be very personal, it's okay. I had such an experience when I was overloaded with too much work, and for that reason was feeling very stressed, so that I was in an unsociable mood and didn't feel like communicating. Namely, at that moment, I had to go shopping with my husband, and we came across his relatives who didn't know me. Unfortunately, since I didn't make any efforts to smile or show my interest in our conversation, they got not a very pleasant impression of me, and of course, it affected me emotionally. And closing. So, again, you close this paragraph. So, we should always try, no matter how bad we might be feeling, to put our best foot forward in order not to be discouraged and upset in the end. So, as you see, you just do the same thing that you did in your first body paragraph. As I said before, it's not stable. You don't have to present reasons in favor of the question. So maybe you disagree, and then you will write different things. If you disagree, you write 2 different reasons why you disagree. It is possible. All right, so moving on to the next step, we have conclusion. It's important that you write a conclusion, because if you don't have final conclusion, I mean, for the essay, you will lose a lot of scores. And for example, let's imagine you're writing your essay or you're typing your essay, and you see that the time is running out and there is no conclusion. So what you should do is you should try to finish quickly the sentence of your second body paragraph and jump right away into conclusion, because if you don't have it, you will lose, I don't remember exactly, I think that just a quarter of your score. So it's essential that you have conclusion. Don't forget about that. So what you write in your conclusion? So basically, you don't present any new ideas in your conclusion. You have to summarize reasons described in your body paragraphs. So make sure that you don't add anything new. So for example, in our sample essay, we were talking about 2 main reasons why we think first impression is important. So it's employment and professional sphere and social life. So in your conclusion, you need to summarize these ideas. So you paraphrase the final sentence of your introduction that you wrote at the very beginning. So you can see that there is lots of paraphrase sentences. So you have to be able to paraphrase well and to use lots of synonyms. So in some words, in conclusion, to summarize. So you write in conclusion, or to summarize, put a comma and start writing your conclusion. And what you also could write is write what should be done, future actions. And I have my example. In conclusion, how people perceive us in professional and social situations can have a great impact on our career and emotional state. From my point of view, we should always try to pay attention to how we look and be on our best behavior the first time we deal with other people. So basically what you try to do is you kind of paraphrase your opinion and just give a recommendation. Again, just paraphrase this whole idea about what you think on the topic. Alright, so that's actually it, what you need for your essay. And what I'd like you to do, so we actually have some time. Guys, let's practice. So can you please try to write down your conclusion right now? I give you 3 minutes summarizing the ideas that you have. So if you want, you can take these ideas, employment and social life, and first impression is important. Or if you have a different idea or ideas, try to summarize them and give recommendation, like final thing. So 3 minutes. Can you please write your conclusion in the chat box? All right, so we have answers. To summarize, the impression that we make during our final meeting with other people can play a great role in our social life as well as in career. Cool. Yeah, great. Okay. All right, so I hope that it was helpful for you and you remember everything that we were talking about and you can use it, these ideas and strategies during your IELTS or TOEFL. All right, and I have give you little homework. So we have another essay question. Attention should be given to color schemes when decorating offices because it influences people's capacity for work. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Use specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. So guys, it's your homework. You can see the essay question, and in order to practice and to remember all the strategies, I'd like you to write your essay on this topic. Don't forget that you need to write your introduction, use the strategies that we have been talking about, and then 2 body paragraphs where you present your reasons, and then a conclusion. So if you are interested, you can visit our website, losangelesenglishschool.com, and we have some information on our essay checking service. So if you'd like to, you can write an essay and send it to us. But first, go and check the procedure. So we have this service for you. You can go and check this out. Okay. So guys, alright, so we are wrapping up our lesson, and I like to thank everyone who was with me today during this live lesson. And I hope that these strategies will help you during your exam. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and notification button so that you will be notified of all our upcoming webinars and new lessons. Oh, it was so nice to be together with you today, guys. If you have any questions, or maybe you are watching a replay of this webinar, make sure that you leave your answers in the comments, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.